stand here. We now move to the presentation of our honorary graduate. An honorary doctorate is the highest award we can give as an academic community to recognise outstanding individuals. And I'm delighted to invite Professor Andrew Lloyd, Associate Pro-Vice Chancellor for Academic Operations, to present Benita Mehra. Just to face the audience. Professor Lloyd.
Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduates, families and friends, it is my honour to introduce Benita Mehra. When the university considers awarding honorary degrees, it seeks individuals who have not only pushed the boundaries of their field for the benefit of society more widely, but who also reflect the values that are important to us at Brighton: creativity, sustainability, partnership and inclusivity. Today we seek to honour such an individual. Benita Mehra has operated at a senior level in aviation, housing and health sectors, with roles including design and construction of major terminal buildings, responsibility for the runways at Heathrow Airport, and management of major estates portfolios. Benita is currently Director of Strategic Assets and Property at London Ambulance Service, a hugely complex organisation serving the entire population of the capital from 70 ambulance stations across the city. She is also a tireless champion of the role of women in engineering. Benita herself studied electrical and electronic engineering at City University London before completing an MSc in construction management at Heriot-Watt University. Upon graduation, she joined British Airport Authority, the airport's operator. With their support, Benita went on to attain charter status, having been seconded from BAA into a manufacturing company. In 2005, she gained an MBA from Henley Business School, allowing her to manage large groups of engineers. She went on in 2014 to switch sectors, becoming Director of Property at Surrey and Borders Partnership NHS Trust. In 2015, she became a Fellow of the Institute of Healthcare Engineers and Estates Management and the Institution of Engineering and Technology in 2016. In October 2015, Benita became President of the Women's Engineering Society, a position she held for 3 years. Under her guidance, National Women in Engineering Day became an international celebration. She used her presidency to campaign for women to be more readily welcomed back into the engineering workforce after taking time out for maternity leave, and to encourage small to medium-sized enterprises to explore job sharing for mid-career workers. In her capacity as President of the Women's Engineering Society, we were delighted to invite Benita to officially open our new Advanced Engineering building and to give a distinguished lecture last year. Benita also works to inspire the next generation, working with teachers and girls to highlight careers in engineering. She is also the judge of the annual Top 50 Women in Engineering campaign run by the Telegraph magazine. Speaking about her motivation as President of the Women's Engineering Society, Benita said, "As a female of Asian descent in a male-dominated environment, I have had to be resilient. It hasn't been plain sailing, and hindsight is a wonderful thing, as I would do things differently now I have experience. This is where we need to find people where we are happy to discuss issues privately and find ways of succeeding. People of colour, the disadvantaged, those who have different abilities, or those who have disabilities do need to be tenacious, as the world of work can be hostile and people are not always supportive of difference. Talent doesn't discriminate, and neither should we." Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduates, families and friends, in recognition of her major contribution to promoting diversity in engineering, it is my honour to present Benita Mehra for the honorary degree of Doctor of Engineering of the University of Brighton.
Benita, it gives me great pleasure to award you the Honorary Doctorate of Engineering at the University of Brighton in recognition of your extraordinary and wonderful and hopefully continuing work to promote diversity in engineering. Will you now address us? I'll put that on the chair for you. There you are.
Chair, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduates, friends and family, I'm honoured and do want to take a moment and a breath before understanding how simple and not so simple life can be. Looking back at my time, July 1969, in Kuwait as a toddler, hanging onto my parents' legs as they watched the moon landing, as they said, celebrating the most amazing feat of engineering, I'd like to say thank you to my father for being there as my rock in the early years, where he pushed me and my teachers, who weren't always convinced in my capability, in believing in me and what I could do. Without any hesitation, he's been one of my greatest advocates who challenged me, but also I challenged him, his beliefs, as generationally we may be different, but then again, quite similar, stoic, stubborn, resolute, but also quite indecisive. My sixth form, a comprehensive girls' school, where we arranged a field trip to Jodrell Bank, to the uninitiated like me, a telescope mapping the moon landing. Our school was changing. We were 80s girls who wanted to be part of girl power and wanted to boycott the banks and attend anti-apartheid rallies, but only if I had the permission of my family. Or maybe I wasn't that explicit in where I was going. As I'm sure they would have said, sorry, no can do. Having only had one overnight school trip, this was a first for me, and the world was there to learn and be like a sponge, soaking up what was around me, having had a very sheltered life. I ask that you take opportunities around you and have a go. Believe in yourself and don't take no for an answer. My son, he took his first overnighter at the age of 6, but as I see him sitting in the audience, I've also had him sitting under the table, playing on the iPad, sitting at formal dinners, or hearing me speak today. Less conformity, but accepting others, may not feel comfortable, but I've had to present at forums where people have said to me they haven't wanted to recruit women. And they've said, I don't think as an SME I can afford to take that risk, as women might go and have babies. And I know I've stood there and said, a few years of that woman working for you, or whoever they may be it paternity or maternity leave, they'll come back, but they may not come back to you, but they'll come back to society and work in that environment. So don't automatically make presumptions. The unconscious bias training, the latest craze, as we start to look at our preconceived ideas and sometimes privileged backgrounds. And I then look to the younger generation who challenge my moral compass, as I do feel, and I'll take my son again, he challenges my emotional intelligence, as often it's stronger and more intuitive than mine. Be humble. Recognize that we can learn from a variety of people, especially when it comes for him to set up my phone. Moving between sectors, having started in engineering, I do often say to myself, I am like a stick of rock. If you cut me in half, I'll say I am an engineer in the middle. What does that mean to me? I've changed sectors, like you were just informed. Started in large organisations. But now when I'm asked, what would I do and would I do the same? I have mixed feelings. And is that right for me? But then again, working in small organisations, it does have merits. You learn very quickly. You have to get to a point where there are no formalities, and sometimes governance isn't so visible versus the hierarchy and the approvals in a large organisation. I have been told I suit large organisations, but when I've been in those large organisations, I've found things take so long to get moving. So I suggest that you venture out into work. Don't automatically assume there's only one way, but think what you'd like to learn, how this will aid you in your career and you. If you want to then boost those specific skills in a company or a location anywhere in the world, do think about that learning contract that you've set yourself here today. And set some of those audacious goals for yourself, but don't beat yourself up as you see your colleagues move in the different directions to yourself, but enjoy the fun. Use the power of meeting people, networking, getting more than one opinion, as there isn't a linear path, and I'd suggest just keep having a go and keep trying. What you do and say to yourself is, I'm going to try, I'll have a go. Okay, it worked. Maybe it didn't, but I've learnt something new today. I have felt uncomfortable in moving sectors, but then again, I've said to myself, it's challenging, it's scary. Sometimes I don't have that parachute or someone to help me, but what I can say is that there's been family and friends around me. So do take learning seriously. Look around the room. I'd like to say this certificate that you'll have now will open doors for you, so use it. I do have other degrees, and each of them has allowed me to open a different door and nudge me between the various places that I've wanted to go. But I also do ask that you volunteer. Look at how you can serve the community, individuals around you. And like I was nudged the other day, I was having a conversation with a young girl at Sports Direct only last week, where she was unsure about what she should take for a third subject at A-level. And she turned around and said, I'm not sure, but I'll just make my mind up on the day. And I just said, no, you've got a few weeks. Have a go, have a consider, and go and ask various people some questions. Don't leave it to chance, but just go a little bit further. So I'd like you to trust your instincts and take a different point of view from what you may have anticipated. So University of Brighton, thank you for bestowing this honour on me. Thank you.